It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, but mostly on YouTube. Give us a like and hit the bell icon to know when we come back. Subscribe to us with your host Komp and
Drama Baby Boy.
And today's film is
Revenge is Her Middle Name, 2011.
Revenge is Her Middle Name, 2011. A former prostitute seeks revenge against a depraved pimp who turned her life upside down 7 years ago. Directed by and written by Anthony Matthews, starring...
Was it 7 years? I didn't realize. I guess so, yeah, it's the kid.
Starring Lissa Brennan, Douglas Bell, Paula Beyin, or Bellin, Michael Todd Schneider, and half-breed Billy Graham. Okay?
Like, that's weird
the Gravedigger
character that came in randomly.
Jeremy Cruz and Barry D. Givner Jr. Where's that one guy? I can't find the name of that one guy. Anyway, so why did we pick Murder, or why did I pick Revenge is Her Middle Name?
I don't know. Why did you?
I saw randomly on Facebook. I think I subscribed to like either Horror Hedonist, some page like that, or Strange Films. It's probably
there's
horror.
actually some really good horror groups on Facebook, even though I don't
there's
use
a lot
it
of
anymore.
there's a lot of horror groups. Anyway, so they put this poster up, and it's actually a pretty good poster for the movie. It has are you seeing the poster where it's like the girl on the left with the gun in her hand, and there's like a bald guy with his brains falling out of his head, and you see the pimp's head in the middle. It's a good poster. And then I remember reading it said I was expecting shit, but I actually got pretty insane. I was like, all right, because sometimes I will randomly see a film, and then I saw the trailer, and what sold me, like the trailer looked cheap as hell, you know.
Oh, it's like an exploitation film.
Yeah, and it's exactly what it is. But the shot that sold me on that it was at least going to be gory is there's a shot where she blows the guy's brains out of his head, and you can see right through his head. Yeah. Which happens later on in the film. And I was like, all right, let me watch it. I was like, where do I find this movie? Because it seems like a movie that nobody knows about, and I'm sure people still don't know, even if we're talking about it. And I found it on Tubi, which is a TUBI, which is a free sort of internet streaming service. And they actually have a lot of good films. Like, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to Tubi, and they have like a lot of movies. Like, they actually have a lot of movies on it that are free and stuff. Like, good movies, too, strangely enough.
That's good to know.
Anyway, so... First and foremost, since this is a very rare film, and I'm sure the director, in some case, might know that it's being reviewed because I'm sure he looks up when people look for his films. I apologize at the time, Anthony Matthews, because I know how hard it is to work on an independent film. I understand that, so you might not want to listen to this episode. But kudos to getting a movie made.
Sorry.
I'm just guessing what Danny's going to talk about. I know what I'm going to talk about. Anyway, so...
well, I wasn't going to all say bad stuff. It was going to
No. It's not going to be all bad stuff, but you know how it is. You know, it's terrible.
Yeah, we're harsh assholes, and, you know, whatever.
It's not because we're elitist. The whole point of the show is to be funny. It's just because we're fucking
losers who...
Yeah, right.
We're losers. That's it.
Anyway, so Revenge is Her Middle Name. So this film is very much an exploitation film, and you can see here's one positive.
It definitely captures that feeling of a classic exploitation film.
Here's one. Let's start off with two positive things that we could say about the movie each, before we really get into what the movie is in general. Here's my two things. It does know its exploitation genre. Like people who made it know what an exploitation film is. And you know exactly. I can't say that I've watched a lot of exploitation films.
I've watched a handful.
5 of them. Yeah, same.
It's totally not my thing, to be honest. But
and the second part is even though it's a little bit repetitive, I actually like the soundtrack. It's sort of like one of those just synth heavy like 80s. It's not like a fantastic soundtrack, but it's still like entertaining and it's funny in a way.
Yeah.
What do you have two positives or at least one?
I agree. It definitely knows exploitation, at least as far as the limited exploitation movies I've seen. Like, this definitely gets that gross feeling. And also, I thought the gore was fun.
Right. And actually, my third positive, I will go throughout it, but I actually I do think one of the characters is a bad actor, but a great actor and a likable actor, even though he's pretty heinous.
Which one? The main guy at the beginning?
No, Mutton Chop, the pimp.
Oh, okay.
What he orders is, listen to me.
There's like a very weird mix of acting levels in this movie.
Yeah, because you would wonder, like and
also some people are good at some points and really bad at other points. It's weird.
You understand, like you've been on sets on films and stuff like that. Like like, how do you pick like bad actors and then like you put in, you make a movie with it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, how does that happen? Like you understand? Like, a person's like, I could maybe there's not, you can't pay enough people to be in this type of film. Do you know?
Yeah.
With its and there's a. Listen, this movie is exploitation the whole way. Like, it has like a 15-minute rape scene or something. It's probably not 15 minutes. It's just a very long rape scene.
Good, like 10 minutes probably.
Yeah. So the movie starts out with this lady blowing some random guy. I think it's Kat, right? Played by Lissa Brennan. What do you think about Lissa Brennan's acting in this movie?
She's like very hit or miss. Like, there's like points where it's like, okay, she's doing good, and other points it's like, oh my god, like they should have redone that scene.
I'll give her props for just being in this movie because it's so like grotesque, and it's a pretty disgusting film.
Yeah.
And I like disgusting films. Don't get me wrong. Anyway,
I've never been into like the rape stuff. I guess like I've seen I Spit on Your Grave when I was like a teenager, and like
Cat is spelled with a K. I didn't know until I read the IMDb.
She has what was her spell?
Didn't she explained what her name was, right? But I forget.
Yeah, she said it out loud at one point, but I forgot what it said.
It wasn't very.
It was like Catico or something.
Yeah,
like
right. Anyway, so Kat is a prostitute. She blows people for money. She lives with her junkie. You know, and it's very rare because
that guy looks so much like someone I know. It was like very uncomfortable for me.
It's her boyfriend, right? What is her boyfriend's name? I'm trying to think of what her character is. Anyways, she's dating this this dude who has like long hair. Apparently he's in horror movies himself. I think he's a director or writer himself. That guy.
He was
a horrible actor.
He was horrible, but it was also like good. It was like that movie, The Horror Mangler.
Oh boy, come on, that guy's better than this guy. Come on.
Well, it's just he had like a charm to him. I'll say that. Okay.
I will say I did like that one visual, you know, where he has the mask on and he's doing that deranged face before he breaks into the pimp's house.
Yeah.
Why you would wear a mask just to take it off makes absolutely no sense.
Well, because the guy knew who he was.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's how much I was paying attention. Anyway, so she is there with her boyfriend and she tries to... Just explaining this movie is so fucking stupid. Like, she's telling him she wants to have a baby. Like, her big deal... Why you would, like... why she would want a baby from this guy?
Well, she wanted from any guy, according to the pimp.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then I guess that's the case because then she says she's pregnant and she decides, we'll get to that. She tries to suffocate and kill him. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I could understand if she had and the
kid's gonna be so fucked up, also.
Like, if she tricked, because like if she had tricked some rich guy or something, that would make sense, you know?
Yeah.
And she can because she moves the wheels upon a very heinous act that happens because she sets up her boyfriend to rob this pimp.
I mean, it didn't even look like they took that much money.
No, it was just they took drugs. They took a lot of drugs.
I don't understand. But it wasn't even that much. I don't understand how they could buy a house with that and shit.
So I mean, no, because you got to sell it in the streets. But who the fuck? I guess
right. But like it was like it was like one bag. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about drugs. I guess, but like I doubt you could buy a house with one bag.
And when you do drugs, do you just put it in your hand and smash it against your face? I thought you like snort it. You don't have to smash it like.
Well, you could rub it in your teeth and shit, but like, or your gums, but like.
That was
a big waste. That was a big waste. Also, you'd probably die from doing that.
She convinces her boyfriend to go into this pimp's house, who is Mutton Chop, who is played by
Douglas Bell.
Douglas Bell, and I found.
I thought he was like charming in this like weird way.
I thought so too. Yeah, me too. Because you think he was the only one that actually had any. Listen, he could probably be the worst actor of all time, but in this movie, this guy's the greatest actor in the film.
Yeah. I mean, it was like so over the top and like kind of funny, but kind of awesome. I don't know.
Yeah, and then like it was so bad because then the boyfriend is saying like the N-word. It's like the most unconvincing acting I've ever heard. Like,
and the other guy's just like completely like
unfazed. Yeah. It's just a sight to see. I did like the fact that there was like some weird guy victim with his butt bleeding for some reason. Like,
yeah, what was that about? And then why did he hit him with the bat? I don't understand.
He didn't have to. He could just let him go. He just said no witnesses. I think he was just insane or something on drugs.
Right.
Because he could have just let the guy go. It's not like the guy's going to be like, oh, hey, this guy released me from being assaulted. I think I'll report him to the police. You know, you'd figure there's that whole Pulp Fiction
and like
deal in real life.
I just
Marcus.
I really there was some like major mess ups in this movie, or like, well, not mess ups, but like these characters are real stupid because like you shoot someone, okay, fine, you didn't kill them, like that's stupid. I guess he was too high to realize, but then she suffocates him with a pillow. Like, how can you mess that up? How do you mess it up? I don't understand.
Listen, some of the cinematography. Not some, a lot of the cinematography in this film is horrendous. Like, there's shots of people's feet for no reason. I think it's because they didn't have coverage or anything else. Like to
sometimes it just like pans off to like weird shit. At one point, there's like it's just showing the word cock on a door or something. Like when there's like stuff, I didn't get it. Like because I think the lighting is pretty bad too. But I guess that's part of like the charm of low budget exploitation films. I don't know.
They also had Kat's friend, who is Marilyn, who's trying to clean her up from this lifestyle. Yeah. Who has an interesting. I thought I was actually surprised by her heel turn, so to speak. So
her what?
Her in wrestling, when a good guy turns bad, they call him a heel, and a good guy's called a face. So I don't know why that is, but a heel turn means like you're a bad guy. And she has like a heel turn midway through the film, like where she's a bad person because she's helping the pimp. For I don't know why.
That was like because she was a good actor pretty much throughout. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, this is the worst acting ever. Like
maybe they shot all her scenes in reverse and like she got acting lessons.
Because like she's like, I hate Cat. Like it was so like I'm talking to the audience right now. I hate Cat. I will betray her. Like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like. But like all before that, it was like fine.
It's astonishing, this film, because like I've had a pretty exhausting.
It's by far not the worst movie we've reviewed. Like I gotta give it some props.
Here's the thing: there's a promise to this film. It's very weird because the director did this in 2011, and he doesn't have any credits since. Maybe he's one of those directors where he did a lot. You know how like they had a lot of these directors are special effects guys. It's weird because a lot of special effects guys make terrible fucking movies. Like
my god!
I think
was that Skin Deep one or something like.
Oh yeah, that was that. But you liked that because it had weird shit, like weird like bait muscle guys with.
Yeah, but it was not a good movie. Like...
Oh, and there's also what was the one with the skeleton face? Laid to Rest.
That I did not like that. I don't think. But the second one was even stupider.
Yeah, great monster design, but horrible movies. But like a lot of them special. So I assume maybe this guy's special effect guy because I think all these people. A movie that this is more close to is that film August Underground. We saw that a long time ago.
I remember thinking it was terrible, but I can't recall what it's about.
Like it was about two like hillbillies or just like white trash people like raping and murdering people, and it was like really graphic. The special effects are fantastic.
What was that one we watched kind of recently? It was like an anthology. I think we recorded it with Thea, and it was so bad. It starts out with like these hillbillies at a table, and it keeps panning around.
Tales from the Quadead Zone?
Yeah. That was not the worst. That's the worst movie I've ever seen, I think, actually.
I still think Rabbit Grannies or Toad Road might be the worst movie.
Toad Road was just kind of like blah and disappointing, but Rabbit Grannies was like a classic.
Harvey! Anyway, but I'm not saying at all that this movie's terrible, but I'm just saying there's a lot of like...
Yeah, it's like funny as we're talking about it, because I was watching it like, oh my god, but as we're talking about it, I'm like, it wasn't that bad, actually.
No, it's fun. It's just, it's technically horrible.
There's so much that could have been improved. That's what sucks.
Yeah, and plus also the storyline is strange, because she's going back, like, it's supposed to be about her, because she gets, she suffocates her boyfriend because she gets pregnant. That's her big deal. She decides to steal the money that they, took all together. Yeah. And she decides to start a new life, but that life is interrupted when the pimp comes back, and it's so bad because he's such an entertaining character, and you can't say, "Oh, these guys entertaining," and he just orders sexual assault. You know what I mean? Because it's character, whatever. The actor playing him is pretty funny, but it's just like oof, you know what I mean? Because you can't say that in the movie.
Yeah, that's the whole scene was like
they're all despicable, and it's like it's a way too like I'm not interested in seeing rape on film.
Yeah.
I don't understand who that's for. I get if you want to put that in your
Well,
film, and I
there's a
understand if
lot
that's a
of
turning
movies
point,
like that. Like,
there's
but the
plenty of them.
classic is "I Spit on Your Grave." That's like the original of that, and it was like pretty much unwatchable. It's like 45 minutes of the movie is just that. Like, it's terrible.
Which film was that? I just missed what you
I
said.
Spit on Your Grave.
Oh,
But the
okay, I Spit on
original,
Your
not the remake. I don't even know what the remake is.
Well, they made a new one that looked horrendous with
Yeah,
the
I
original
heard
star
it was
in
stupid. You can't. There's no reason to remake a movie like that.
But with this, like the rape goes on for like 10 minutes, like we said, and I think they're trying to make it funny or something because there's a guy in a sombrero in a wheelchair, and he's a rapist too, and they grab him off, and it's clearly he's not doing anything, but they're cheering him on, and it's just like it's such an utterly bizarre. It's clearly that has to be like black comedy.
Where I live. I'm sorry.
And it's just because you have to talk about it because it's like the main focus of the movie, the main reason why she goes on her revenge scale, I guess. Although she goes about her revenge in a strange way because
she's taking it on like random people at first.
Yeah, like the first guy deserved it because he started beating the shit out of her and trying to rape her as well.
I don't think she intended to kill him at first.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Because remember there's a part where he's in the living room. And he's getting nude for her, or in his underwears at least. And he goes, "Yeah, bitch," like he's like that. And then she's like, and it's cutting back to showing her making drinks or cutting.
I thought she was gonna poison the drink.
That's what I thought it was. I thought
because they put so much emphasis on it, like
yeah,
it was
weird. It was for nothing. And then he comes out and he starts beating the shit out of her during sex, and she kills him and chops him up. And that's when we're introduced to two cops that are chasing, looking for her. Did you see to the very end credits at least?
Yeah.
Okay. So they introduced these two cops.
Wait, do you mean there was an after credit scene?
Yes, there was.
Oh,
anyway,
shit.
I'll get to it. Anyway,
I don't think I saw it. Sorry.
So she carves up this guy's body. She doesn't. So I could get that she. Anyway, 7 years later, we're led to believe that she lost the baby because. There was a scene where she wakes up in the hospital because they beat her up. They slice her boyfriend's throat.
What was with that doctor eating those pills and shit?
I don't know. I don't get what that scene was about. I guess it's supposed to be funny. I don't know. Anyway, so she wakes up and the doctor. That's a lot of it with this film. I've had a long day, and the doctor doesn't make any sense. He's like, "Oh, you're lost. So that's for us, the audience, to hear."
Yeah,
so
I'm assuming she had a miscarriage. How did she hide that she did?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, maybe they just cut out the line where she lost a quarter under the bed or some fucking thing. Anyway, so 7 years later, then she, we're led to believe she lost her kid. She's living in a new house. I guess the pimp left her with money to buy a house. You know what I mean? Because I don't think she's doing any other job. She's still living with money. She was the mastermind.
She already had the money in house.
Right. And was that the same house she came back to, I guess? It looked like a different house, but I wasn't sure.
I don't know.
So anyway, she decides to, once she cuts up that one guy and chops him up into pieces, she's like, she decides to randomly, even people that don't do bad things to people, she starts to hate men, because then she gets into these, she's like, she's a femcel.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, I don't blame her. They had to work on those monologues though, because she's talking about men, and it's just the worst. So I can understand if you make
pretty bad.
If you that's interesting to have a woman that hates men as a serial killer. Although I'm maybe we have seen.
Isn't that the plot to that movie Monster or something?
This might be I guess you're right because that did happen. But this is she's out of her mind, and she keeps this guy as a slave, some sort of weird
was he I couldn't tell if it was voluntary on his end at first.
She was trying. No, I don't think so. She was trying to get pregnant from him too. So that's why we're thinking, oh, maybe she didn't have the kid. She lost her child. So because she's trying to give him hand jobs to get semen
she
off
wants
him
a younger sister.
And I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then the cops are still looking for her. They're like, hey, maybe she threw something on that trash.
And those cops were absurd.
Yeah, they really are. And then the dead body, she dumps them to this guy who looks like a Marilyn Manson type of character, and I think he's a flamboyant.
Yeah, what the hell was that guy? He just came out of nowhere. He looked like fucking Stranger Things guy, D. Snyder.
So I guess he moves the dead bodies for her because that's what she pays him money, and he's okay. Here it goes. Half-breed Billy Graham developed a cult following and fan base based upon his work in various entertainment genres. he was the singer frontman for Philadelphia punk metal band Saints in Hell, whose other members, blah blah blah, etc. So I guess he's more of a musician entertainer. I guess he's sort of like like putting Henry Rollins in a movie, but it was more like Schmenry Follins. So he shows up as this character, and then was he the same guy who was blowing people at the glory hole?
I don't know.
Because I think it's the same character. I think he wears drag or something sometimes.
Yeah. That is.
And I guess he was at the glory hole, and somebody pushed like hundreds of dollars his way, and he just left. That's when she decides to cut one guy's dick off. I think it was one of her rapists.
Oh, that scene was pretty painful.
Because after she,
the finger in the shooting in the gut shot was like kind of painful to watch.
Yeah, that was that one dude, right? That really, really bad acting rapist guy. She shoots him. She shoots his friend through his head.
Yeah, he was like a really bad actor.
He's really terrible.
Sorry if you're listening to this.
But she's like she just goes on a rampage, but it's a fairly quickly successful rampage because it's like the next scene the person's dead. It's not like there's no sort of.
Well, are they dead though? The guy that she cut his dick off and slammed his head over and over. I mean, he could be alive.
Nah, that guy's dead. But it's like, okay, he's alive then. But
it would
it's
be better
like
if he was alive. Imagine living like that.
But it's very easily successful, like for her to kill these people very quickly. Like there's no sort of tense moment. Like they put the cops there.
There was a tense one when she fought her friend Marilyn. It was like the worst fight I've ever seen.
And she stabs Marilyn in the back, and Marilyn just like slowly dies. And then like, I don't know. I don't even remember how many guys.
I hated the dog. You know what I thought of? That guy that was in our class. That talked about fucking liking bestiality porn.
Oh, that guy. Yeah,
that guy was the worst.
Did he reminded you of him?
Because the dog scene with the eating the food.
Oh, that's right. Oh, right.
I immediately thought of that guy. We knew this like sick fucking guy that like he was totally serious. He was like, oh yeah, I love bestiality.
That guy.
He was like totally serious.
That guy had problems.
He had major issues. I don't know.
I didn't get it.
I don't know what that was. All I know is that if you like watching dogs have sex with humans, you should chop your head off and fucking die.
Anyway, so she they put a subplot for 5 seconds of this schoolgirl who she's sitting by herself, right? She's
the victim of the
this guy clearly is
pimp.
This guy's clearly he's dressed not like a pimp nowadays. Sort of,
he's dressed like a cartoon pimp.
Yes, I know, because like pimps nowadays are just guys in regular street clothes, like just regular like street clothes. He just looks like a fucking cartoon. Like he looks like he
something out of like the South Park show or something.
Yeah, like yes, exactly. He's got the hat with the fucking feather in it, and that's what makes his character funny. I don't know. He just makes it funny for me because he's so goofy. But he's like smooth, but you can tell he's like a guy who enjoys being like. I would have wanted the film to follow him 50% of the time, honestly, because he's such like human trash.
They really should have cut this movie down quite a bit too.
Yeah, this movie could have been 15 minutes long.
I mean, because it could have been longer than that, but like, I don't know. There's so much extra shit. Like they should have focused more on like having good lighting and shit.
I'm not rooting for anybody in this film, honestly, because they're all like pretty much garbage people. So
I'm rooting for the daughter whose life is ruined.
But anyway, because remember the schoolgirl is like talking to the pimp, and it's just like, can't you see how this guy's dressed? Like he's dressed up like if they wrote about this in the 70s, that's exactly what he would look like.
Yeah, but that's what happens.
I guess people are it's true. People are stupid and they or gullible and they fall into
like
traps
vulnerable
like that.
And shit, and people like that take advantage of them, I guess.
And anyway, so she sets up once she finds out Marilyn has set her up for all this. I don't know why, because Marilyn was trying to get her clean in the first place. But I guess this lady has fucked herself over by trying to rob a pimp in the first place, a huge drug runner, and everything awful happens to her, and she has the right to revenge that part that happens to her. But she is a stupid ass because she's not a good person either.
Yeah, everybody in this movie is a piece of shit. Basically.
She's a piece of shit. And then her like killing of him was like really anticlimactic. Like they try to make it look like they.
I thought he was gonna escape. They made this whole thing.
I
Of
know.
His hands are untying and shit.
And a lot of these directors have a thing where they put like kids doing the murder because I think they think that's really like.
I swore
spooky.
this is what I was thinking would have been an awesome ending, but they didn't do it. I was thinking he was gonna grab the kid last second, and then like she would accidentally kill both of them at the same time or something.
Yeah, see, that'd be interesting. That would be an interesting thing because then it'd be like unending horror. But
yeah,
they try to make it. They try to make it scary and disturbing by having the kid singing "Itsy Bitsy Spider."
Yeah, I hate that kind of stuff.
But to me, it's just like
that's
okay,
it's like really like lame stuff to me. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you were actually disturbed by it or something.
No.
Because I was like,
no, it's stupid. Like, it works in, like, Nightmare on Elm Street in the 80s,
right.
And it's great, but, like, you can't, I don't know. It's dumb.
Yeah, I think it's also when it's technically flawed, the film, that, like, it doesn't make any, it doesn't mean any, I don't know, whatever.
Also, we only met this kid, like, 10 seconds earlier, so it's not even, like, you know.
But it shows that she's raising her daughter to hate people as much as she does. I don't get it, like... You want a kid that bad just to raise him up to be a piece of shit. You know, usually people try to raise their kids to fix the mistakes that their parents made. But I guess that's different. In this case, she literally went insane. She had, PTSD from her assault. So I guess that's the case. And then at the very end credits, because the movie ends with just chopping the guy's head off. And that's it. It just goes to the end credits. This is like a cheap version of I Saw the Devil or something like that. And then at the very end credits, we actually see the two cops. And they go to her lair, and they're there with their guns, and they see the little girl sitting with the headless body, and they're like really badly acting, like, oh man, oh my, oh, and then she's like, she comes out from the shadows from behind them holding up a weapon. So I guess she kills the two cops.
Okay.
Too. Totally unbelievable. I don't buy this movie for a second.
How did I like miss that? That's at the very.
It happens at the very, very after the end credits.
Because the credits were so annoying to me that I just turned them off. Like.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I somehow found this entertaining in a way, not in a great way.
Yeah.
I didn't find the rape stuff entertaining. I thought it was just like whatever. Like it was too long. Like you know what rape is. Like once you start focusing on like violence in sex, men or female. It's like it becomes like for somebody else. Do you know what I mean? It's like for a different type of crowd. It's sort of like remember when we were talking about. I bring this up every time.
Well, I just don't like this type of stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, and you know, I don't know anybody who would want to like, but I'm sure there's plenty of people that like
there's
fucking
tons
rape
of people
movies.
that like
because
watching
they're weird.
this type of shit.
But it's like you know when we saw to bring it up again was Laid to Rest, the skeleton face man. The chrome skull. It's great design. It's a horrible movie, and like they would like have the first movie had a lot of like. Topless women.
I remember like the
get
girl
killed.
like explained what a coffin was. She's like, you know, I was in the dead people box or something. Instead of saying like a coffin, it was just what is this?
I found out why she wasn't in the sequel because I remember when we reviewed the second film. I think we reviewed the second film.
Yeah, we did.
She was married to the guy who directed the film. She produced the first film. And I guess they got divorced, and that's why they changed her actress in the second one. But the actress looked just like the first lady, so, or she was so forgettable that I didn't recognize it.
It just had like the worst script. Special effects are great, but like you need a script.
Yeah, I mean, if you can make special effects that look that good, back it up with something.
Yeah, like fucking hire somebody.
Like a lot of movies, a lot of movies can survive just by having graphic violence in it and having a terrible script, like. You know, I don't want to insult Story of Ricky because I thought that was fun. But, you know, there's plenty of movies I'm sure that we saw where we're like, oh, it's stupid, but the gore is great.
Story of Ricky is, like, over the top to the point where it's like, okay, this is great. Like, it's different. It works for some movies. It doesn't work for others.
So I was actually surprisingly a little bit entertained just for the pimp character and certain gore in the film. Great gore in the film. Really good violence in the film. Yeah. So that makes it watchable.
It did make me cringe at certain points, which is great.
So I mean, the director knew what he was doing, and I would like to think that he's making more films or trying because it's a very difficult process, especially like if you're doing very indie films.
Yeah, just get like a better choreographer.
But the thing is, people might have fun making movies like this, like, you know, this sort of underground scene. There's people that are like, don't give a fuck about mainstream.
Yeah, I know, but like,
having
you don't
it
have
polished.
to. Doesn't have to be like fucking. I don't know. It doesn't have to be like the guy that made Avatar or something. Just like rent a fucking light for like $200 and use it. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. Like, the only James Cameron was a special effects guy before he became a film. So is David Fincher. So those are like the opposite coins.
You can get like really cheap equipment and rent it. Like, this doesn't have to be like so expensive.
So, but
whatever.
But I think this is one of those critic-proof types of bad movies where they say, "Oh, it's supposed to look bad. It's supposed to look cheap," and you're like, I don't know. Like, sometimes you're technically accurate on some parts. You know what I mean? Like, you know that the character's supposed to be in the middle of the fucking frame. You're not shooting them, you know, from another room or something like that. So I never get that sort of excuse to be like, "Oh, it looks like it's a piece of shit on purpose."
What's that movie we saw recently where the girl was making a painting and the painting she was like blacking out and making the painting? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, that was
Is it about like some drug or something?
Right, was it Blur or it was like one word? Give me a second. Go talk about the pimp in this movie.
Well, anyway, that movie gets that like grungy fucking low budget look, but like in a fucking really good sort of way. It still manages that feeling though, like a gross
Bliss is the movie.
Bliss. Yeah, like that like movie totally nails like that gross low budget feeling, but it's like well made, you know.
Yeah, and that movie's completely chock full of characters that are all fucking horrible.
Although I don't think I like that movie either because it's not my type of thing, maybe. But like I don't know, like
it had an interesting, it had a great look to it, but it wasn't that good of a movie. But anyway, back to this film. I found this somewhat charming in its grotesqueness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I do like her boyfriend in the beginning.
I thought he was one of the worst actors I've ever seen.
I know, but that's what's so fun. He's like lovable in a weird way. It's like so over the top. He does look like someone I know too.
I couldn't believe you start filming that and go, okay, you know what I mean? Because I can't believe it. Like, these people must have done this for free or something.
No, the guy that got shot in the gut, the rape guy, like
that guy was really
that is the worst actor in the movie. I'm sorry, like guy, if you're listening to this. Like,
I'm scared of if these people are not really actors and they're actual psychopaths and they hear this. So apologies, but yeah. So that's that's Revenge is her middle name. What rating would you give this film?
I mean, I guess we said some positive stuff. I'll give it like a 5 out of 10.
Oh, you're being generous.
I'm being fair because the more I talk about it, the more I realize it's not that bad.
That's almost half of a good movie, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 5 out of 10. Although if you are offended by rape and stuff like that, I mean, obviously I'm offended by it. But if you can't watch it in a movie, don't watch this movie.
We would never recommend this to our other co-hosts. We would never.
Yeah,
she would never talk to us again. We would never see her.
I give it a 5 out of 10. Chopping off someone's penis.
She sawed it off too. That was a bad penis prop because it took a long time to cut that dick off.
Yeah, but it looked good. Sawing off his wee-wee. And then hitting him in the head with a toilet top, which was probably plastic and probably didn't kill him.
I will give this a 4 out of 10. Verbally berating a prostitute who's doing her job by filleting your genitals very early in the beginning of the film. You don't have to be that rude to a woman who's doing
You don't have to be rude.
Her job. And with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Pickle juice.
Ooh.